Hi bookworms, it's Jade from Bedtime Bookworm. Today I'm bringing you my very first tag that I was actually tagged in. I was tagged by Hope Ortego to do the Twas the Night Before Christmas tag. Question number 1. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. A book that kept you up so late, everyone else was asleep. My answer to this question is The Hunger Games. I actually picked up this book on my way to a babysitting gig, and after the kid went to sleep, I sat there and read for like 2 hours straight. And then when I went home that night, I continued to read. I didn't finish it that night, but I stayed up till like 3 or 4 and then went to bed and woke up early to finish reading that book. So that book definitely kept me up really late. Question number 2. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. A book that made you fall asleep. For this question, I'm going to pick 1,000 Nights by E.K. Johnston. I had a really hard time reading this book. It was really slow for me, and even though the writing was really beautiful and lyrical, it kind of put me to sleep and I didn't finish it. Question number 3. When out on the roof there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. A book or a scene that made your heart race. For this, I picked The Darkest Minds. A lot of things happen at the very end, and there's a particular scene I have in mind, and I won't say because of spoilers, but it was really crazy and my heart was racing. Question number 4. When what to my wondering eye should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. An object in a book that was utterly magical, or a magical book. For this question, I picked the book Incarnate by Jodi Meadows. I read that book almost a year ago now, and I just thought the world was so magical and so interesting. It was unlike anything I'd ever read before, and I'm really looking forward to finishing that series this year. I don't know what's taking me so long to pick up the next book. Question number 5. With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. A twinkle-eyed book character that made you happy. For this, I picked Captain Thorn from the Lunar Chronicles. I find him to be so hilarious, and he always puts a smile on my face. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with the sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. A book that made you fly to another land. For this question, I'm going to pick the Grisha series. I just recently read this series in like November, December 2015, so it's pretty fresh on my mind, but I found the world super unique and interesting, and I definitely felt transported to that world when I was reading that series. Question number 7. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof, a book creature you love. For this, I of course had to pick Dobby from Harry Potter because he is so adorable and is probably my favorite book creature ever, and I'm not sure if any other creature could ever take his place. Question number 8. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A character that proves to be more than his or her first impression. I chose Nikolai from the Grisha series. Nikolai definitely fits the description, and if you've read the Grisha series, you know what I mean. He's one of my new favorite characters, and I couldn't resist using him for this question. Question number 9. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. A book or a book character that made you laugh. For this question, I chose Mark Watney from The Martian. That book is full of some serious stuff, but he is always cracking jokes and looking on the bright side of things, and always made me laugh. Question number 10. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon made me to know I had nothing to dread. A book that makes you feel safe. And of course, my go-to answer for this, and I'm sure for a lot of people, is the Harry Potter series. I don't think that needs much explanation. Question number 11. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk. A book that put you to work, or a book that you felt you really needed to concentrate on. For this, I'm picking the Wheel of Time series. This is a high fantasy series written by Robert Jordan, although the last couple books were written by Brandon Sanderson. It's really long. It's, I think, 13 books, and it's very complicated. It's a lot like Game of Thrones, where it's really intricate and lots of things are like tied together throughout the series. I've reread the series a few times, although not the last few books, and each time I figure out new connections and have a new perspective on what's going on. That's one thing that I really love about that series, that every time I read it, it's so complicated that I discover new things. And then the last question is, Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night. A book with a magnificent ending. For this, I picked In the Afterlight by Alexandra Bracken. It's the very last book in the Darkest Minds series, and I thought that not only did the book have a fantastic ending, but it wrapped up the series really well and just gave me all the warm and fuzzies. That's all the questions for this tag. If you liked what you saw, please like, comment, or subscribe to see more content like this. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep reading, bookworms. Bye! So I was tagged by Hope Ortego over from. For this question, I'm gonna put that series. He is just. I find. I just recently read this at the end of 2012 and. 2012. Bye.